How to Read a Revision. Subtitle: Take your ego out of the equation. This is one of the most important things you've got. First off, when you read a revision, you have to have the proper mindset. The mindset is, don't take anything personally. Nothing's personal about this. This is all business, because as soon as you get personality involved in this, you will have a mess that can't be cleaned up. Remember, you get rewarded for your hard work with your degree. If you get your advisor upset at you, you get other people upset at you, they will not give you a degree. It's not, I'm going to get everybody upset at me and therefore I'm going to get out. No, you're basically going to work your way to get through this, because people don't like giving out degrees. They believe that they worked hard for what they got, and sometimes they did. You get rewarded for working hard. Advice from my PhD advisor. This is what he told me. He said, the 5 members of your committee have a combined over 150 years of experience. You have 7. Do not think you know more than them. Now, that's kind of a humbling experience, and it sounds like he's being kind of arrogant, but when you start thinking about it, you go, wait a second, he's got a point. They got more experience in a lot of things than I do, and the only thing I've got more experience than them in is what I did, and that's the key fact to everything. You should know more about your subject than your committee, but that doesn't mean you know how to put it into words. I wrote somewhere around 15 journal articles before I really understood how to write well. Now, if you think I can write a journal article today without having somebody find something wrong with it, you're wrong. So what it comes down to is somebody can always find something. Therefore, don't take it personally. It doesn't matter how good a writer you are. Somebody's going to find something in it. Don't take it personally. That's the mindset. General how to read a revision. Look over all the material first to get a general idea. Don't go in there and read the first sentence and go, what? No, look over everything. See where everything is. Pick your battles if you want to have any, but look over everything first. Look at the comments, see if they're constructive. If you receive a comment such as, this is out of format, go check the format and see whether or not it's right. And if it's in format, don't sit there and go, see, I told you so. No, that didn't get your ego out of the equation. You go out and you say, hold on, I was checking this and I saw this and you said it was out of format. What did you mean? Because maybe they got it out of format and they didn't realize it. But there are non-threatening ways to be able to take this forward. If you still don't understand what's wrong, go ask. Nothing hurts to ask. So it's an easy way to get out of it. If you get general comments such as all the dates in the literature cited are in the wrong format, put all of the dates in the same format. Doesn't necessarily mean they're all right, but at least now you're going to be able to go out there and, deal with that particular thing. Because if some of the dates are in parentheses and some of the dates have a period afterwards and some of the dates have a parenthesis period afterwards, you got a problem because something's out of format. So rather than just fix the one that they pointed out, check everything and fix the format of everything. If the comment is rewrite, go ask them what do they mean by rewrite? Because there's a lot of ways that you could put that down. If they said rewrite it, it's because they didn't understand it. What didn't they understand? Which way do they want to go? And this is where you can sit down and ask them how to deal with this. But you do it in a non-threatening way. The reality of reading a revision. Remember, when you first start writing, it is not unreasonable to go through 6 to 10 drafts. Plan accordingly. I got to finish up next Friday, and here's my first draft. No, that's not happening. Be realistic about it. You want to start this early on, start this process early on, and go through it early on. You can take as much as 2 years to write a thesis if you're not careful. And what you need to do is you need to budget your time, budget your aspirations, and budget where you want to go to be able to make this work accordingly. Think of it. Draft 1 is your prospectus. Now, your prospectus may have been gone through 3 or 4 times before you got it right, but draft 1 is your prospectus. The prospectus includes the introduction, literature review, the materials and methods, and the literature cited, which is a big part of everything you've got. So in between the time you write your prospectus and you write your thesis, the only thing you have to do is incorporate new literature. Draft 2 is your figures and tables. Once you're collecting your data, start structuring it in a tabular form so that you can look at it. Do I want figures and tables? Do I want something else? And you start dealing with it in a tabular form, and that'll give you information in there. Draft 3 is your results. Since you've already got your introduction, literature review, materials and methods, and literature cited done, and all you have to do to your prospectus is tweak it for the changes you made while you're doing the experiment, draft 3 really becomes your results. And you write up your results with your tables and figures, and you give it to your advisor to make sure that they got it down there. If they have a problem and they want to see the whole thing the whole time, you got a problem there, right? So you look at the results, try and get the results through, because that is one of the bigger challenging parts. And from that point, you've only got 3 of your 6 to 10 drafts done, because after that, you're going to have a discussion. And then after you got the discussion, then you put the whole thing together and give it to them and have them take a look at it. And if you do it like that, you should be able to go through it fairly non-threatening. How to read a revision philosophically. Your goal is to finish. It is not to prove your point with your advisor. You find the finish line, you get your degree. You decide to go into Mortal Kombat. Remember, in Mortal Kombat, someone ends up dead, which means, now let's think about this. If you manage to destroy your advisor, they aren't going to sign your thesis, you aren't going to graduate. If your advisor manages to destroy you, you aren't going to graduate. So therefore, you're in a no-win situation unless your goal is to finish and not prove your point with your advisor. In my 40 years of teaching, I have never seen a student win a battle with their advisor. Well, they might win something here, they might win something there, but win the battle? Never. I have seen students who have not received their degrees. I have seen students who gave up. I have seen students who have changed majors. But I have never seen a student win a battle with their advisor. I've seen many students graduate, and all of those decided not to prove their point with their advisor. Even if your advisor's a jerk, you need to be above everything. What is the possibility of them being a jerk? That's probably high. There are a lot of advisors who are, and I use the word advisor loosely, probably not the best person to give you advice. But the thing is, you're stuck with them, and that means you got to figure out how to deal with them. From the philosophical perspective, start with the end in mind. Where is it you want to get to? And that's your goal. Don't worry about what needs to be done on the inside. Do what needs to be done to finish.